Hello. I'm going to tell you another story. First, I'm going to adjust my camera. My name is Mary Lou Herman, and I'd like to talk to you about a story called The Cameo Lady and the Stink Tree. So, I have on a cameo on my shirt, and a cameo is a piece of jewelry where the lady is showing up with a dark background around her. And this is a very famous kind of jewelry that a lot of women wore back in the Victorian era. But I did a little bit of work on investigating, and I found out that the real cameo was invented 300 years before Christ. And at that time, they used one rock, and the artist did all of his work by chipping away and cutting the pieces of the rock to form the beautiful image of the lady that comes up to the top. And that's a cameo. So most cameos nowadays are dark black around the background, or like a peachy color or a little bit darker peach color, and then the beautiful lady is on the front showing her image. So I tell stories about the cameo lady to my older lady friends, and I explain that through our lifetimes we had traumas and chaos and experiences and trials and tribulations, and these are all the things that made our character and developed us through the years. And that the artist is God, and he chipped things away and formed our life the way it was formed to come out in the end as a beautiful cameo lady. So another part of this is when I first got saved, I had a crisis in my life, and I sat on my friend's couch and I said, I'm going to ask Jesus into my heart. So even though I did that, I really didn't understand that I was born again, and I didn't understand anything that was happening to me spiritually. So a couple weeks went by, and someone gave me a book, and it was called Something More by Catherine Marshall. And there are some books out there with the same title, but the author of this book is Catherine Marshall. She wrote this book back in the 1960s. So I was reading it in 1976. So I'm laying down at night and I'm reading it, and there was a chapter on dreams. And while I'm reading, I fell asleep. And then I woke up, and I was sort of half awake and not all the way awake. And I saw something in a vision in my room, and it was across the room. It was outside of my part here. So it was over this way, and it was a strip of negatives, like that used to come out of the old Polaroid camera. And there were 4 frames, and what it was on the negatives, it was Jesus carrying the cross up the hill of Calvary. And on the first square of the negative, I could see him at the bottom of the hill, and it looked heavy, but he was moving. It was like a moving picture of him moving along these negatives. And he was moving like this, and it got heavier and heavier, and up higher up the hill, heavier and heavier. And then it went away, and the whole room lit up. It was what they call a blast of light. It was sunlight, sunshine, Jesus' glory. It was just the whole room lit up. And then I saw little angels going up and down, on this side and this side. And I'm waking up more and more as I'm seeing all this. And then I heard some words, and one of them was gargoyles, gargoyles, gargoyles. And then I heard another sentence, lions, lions, lions. And I heard another sentence, the golden plates on the golden night. And I was shocked, but it was like I knew it was supernatural. I knew it wasn't from me. I didn't make it up or imagine it. And it wasn't really inside of me like a dream. It was just something that was happening. And so it ended. And then I picked up my book and I started to read it again. And on the page that I hadn't read yet, it said that the devil goes about searching for whom he may devour. Oh, it said he was a lion. Okay, let me start over. The devil is like a roaring lion searching about for whom he may devour. And then a line above that said, cast all your cares upon the Lord, for he careth for you. And then a line above that, it said, submit yourself to God and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So I read all that, and then I probably went back to sleep. I think I just was in shock. So now I'm going to tell you about the stink tree. So the stink tree is in my life because when I was a child, I lived in a downtown neighborhood. There were a lot of trees on the street. There were buckeye trees and maple trees and oak trees. And there was the stink tree. And we all knew that it was called the stink tree. That's just what it was called. And so it had these little things that fell down. They were the seed with the left part looked like a wing and the right part looked like a wing. And they would flutter around. We called them helicopters. But if we got a hold of one of the leaves or one of the parts of the branch or something like that, it did stink. It had a funny smell. So this story is about how God has made every human being to be a little bit stinky. And we have things about us that are not good. So even though the story about the cameo lady is a lovely story to make my friends feel better, my older lady friends, we all have had stinky things happen in our lives, and it came from inside of us. So for me, I do have to admit I've had some very bad things happen inside of me where I have hurt people very badly. I have one daughter that they called us being a strong-willed child, but she just wanted paid attention to. It's just that it was like she was the second child, and so the older one knew what to do, and then the third baby didn't know what to do, and the fourth baby, and I was like, looking here and catching somebody with the diaper down and looking that way and catching somebody who spilled something on the floor, and another one had a turd on the steps, and my little girl just wanted to be paid attention to at those moments when I was frazzled. I was frazzled with so many stress factors, but it's no excuse. So I had a bad reaction to her all the time. I always had a bad reaction to her. And she was just a little girl wanting to get attention. And some of the psychology books do say some children want to do bad behavior to get bad attention. So she wasn't really doing bad behavior. She was pestering me in the moment when things were chaos. And a lot of times I would try to help her get over it by bringing her in bed with me at night and talking to her a lot. And I would rock her and say that I loved her and that whatever happened during the day, that we would work it out. But then time went on, and it was worse than it was good. It wouldn't get good. It just got worse. So when the other children got spanked or disciplined for something they did, I was always on my last nerve with this daughter, and I would slap her in the face. And it became a bad habit, and it's called abuse. And I don't like that about myself. And I have apologized, but I'm here on this video to say out loud in public that I am so, so sorry. I'm so, so sorry again that I sinned against you, I hurt you, and I'm very sorry. And even other people that I have hurt in my lifetime, if anybody sees this video, I am so, so sorry. You know, I have to say that for my side of it, I admit that I was wrong. Please forgive me. I'm so, so sorry. And I'm not sorry with just words. I cry over this thing with my daughter. I weep, I cry. And I have regret, I have remorse, but it hasn't really been healed yet. And so I need to express out loud in public that I have that stinky part of me. And it stinks. It's awful. It's a malicious thing. And I don't want to know that about myself. I don't even want to think that. And I like to blame my mother because that's what people do. And, you know, and I want to blame other circumstances, but there is nobody to blame except me. So I'm sorry again. So the other thing is, when we do things wrong or we do things right, Jesus forgives us. So we have to forgive ourselves. Even if the other person doesn't want to talk to us or be around us, we have to forgive ourselves. And you can't really be positive until you are able to understand about the negative part of yourself. So the positive part comes out and you can be a cameo lady and accept the beauty of your life. But first you have to recognize the dark side of your life, the dark things that you've done. So at this time in my life, I am recognizing all of that. So please forgive me again. I'm so, 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 so sorry. And stay tuned to the next video.